Shalom everyone and welcome to day 6. Today you are going to be learning the letter vav. And vav makes the sound of the English letter V as in van. And yes, it makes the same sound as the letter vet. That is the bet without the dogish in it, without that dot. It makes the same sound. V as in van, V. Okay, so in ancient Hebrew, vav probably was called wow instead, wow. And it made a W sound, like a W sound like in the English word wow. It made a W sound. But today in modern Hebrew, it makes the V sound as in van, V, instead of W. So it's a little difference. And you may be familiar with the name Yahweh, and in it has a W, and that's coming from the letter Vav. So it's using the ancient Hebrew pronunciation for that. And so when we do see God's name, and if I say Yahweh, I'll be using the ancient pronunciation for God's name. But for all the other words in Hebrew, I will use the modern pronunciation for the letter Vav, and we'll be using the modern pronunciation. Okay, so here's a little chart that may help you out. So ancient Hebrew, it was a W sound. Modern Hebrew, it's a V sound as in van. Okay, so that's the difference you should know. And we'll be sticking with the modern pronunciation unless we're using God's name. Okay, now the other thing you should know is, like the letter Hey, which you learned earlier, Vav is also called a metes lectionis, and it is a mother of reading, just like Hey. So it can act as a vowel to help you with reading sometimes. And we're going to take a look at how Vav does that now. We looked at how Hey does that. We're going to look at how Vav does that now. Now, this is Vav when it's acting as a vowel. The first one on the left is called Cholem Vav, and it makes an O sound. So you can see that there is a dot above the Vav. So you can think of it like O, since the dot is over the Vav, you can say O. So that's the sound Vav will make when there's a dot over it. Now, over here on the right, this letter Vav here, it has a dot in the center here, and when it has the dot there, this is the vowel shuruk or shurek. It doesn't matter, shurek. So it makes the sound oo. So you can think of like, say if someone hit you in the gut, you're gonna make an ooh sound, like you're groaning because you got hit in the gut. So those are the two ways you can remember the sound that Vav makes when it's acting as a vowel. But we're going to focus on the consonant sound, which is the V sound. You will learn the vowels later on. I'm just showing it to you now and introducing it, so it'll stay in the back of your head, like in the back of your mind, so that way when you do get to vowels and you have to learn them, you won't feel overwhelmed. That's why I'm introducing some of the things now. I'm not expecting you to know it. I'm expecting you to only know the consonants and to know the consonant sounds. The vowel sounds you will learn later on. This is just to introduce it to you so you won't feel overwhelmed when you do have to learn vowels. Okay? So when you see these, sometimes like in the Bible or in some of the vocabulary, you will know what Vav is actually doing, and you don't have to get too worked up or scared about it. Okay, so moving on to your first word is Vav. So this is the name of the letter, but it's also a word. So I'm going to show you how you break it down. So we're going to look at the first consonant here. It is a Vav. It makes the V sound, hence why you see the V here in the transliteration. And now we're going to look down. We see a comets. You've seen this before. And it makes the ah sound. So we have the V and the ah. So combine them together, we get Va. And then we look over to the next letter, it's also a vav, and it makes the V sound. So we're going to combine all the sounds together. So you have this vav, and then the comments, you get va, and then v, vav, vav. And that's how you get this word. And it means hook or nail. And maybe that might actually help you out in remembering this letter. If you look at it, it kind of looks like a hook or a nail, or even a tent peg kind of thing. So you can think of vav as a hook or a nail. And that is kind of what vav does, because vav is also used as the word and, like to connect things together. So vav is a connector. And so maybe that might help you out in remembering what vav looks like. It's a hook or a nail, and it's also the name of the letter, and it's a word. Okay, so moving on, we have another word, and this we're going to take a look at how vav over here is going to act as a vowel. So we look at the first consonant, it's aleph, and it's silent. So we have to look to find a vowel that is paired with aleph. We look down, there is no vowel, so we look over to the next and we see it's the letter vav, but then we also see the dot. So that means this is a cholem vav, because the dot is over the vav. So it's going to make an O sound because it's over the vav. So you have the aleph, which is silent, and then you have this vav here, which is going to act as a vowel, and it's going to make an O sound. So you have O, silent, and then this says O. So together, it's O. And then we're going to look to the next letter. You've seen this letter before, but I'm still not expecting you to know it yet. This is the letter resh, and it makes a R sound, like an R in English. So it makes a R sound. So when you combine the sounds you get, you have O, R, or. So you have the word or. Okay, and this word means light. Okay, so moving on to the next word, we have a name, and you can try and guess what this name is. We'll figure it out as we try and pronounce it. You can try and guess what the name means. So we look at the first consonant. This is a sh sound because this is the letter shin. You don't have to know this letter yet. I'm going to tell you what it is, but you will learn it later. This is a letter shin, and it makes a sh sound. Now we look down and we see what vowel there is. It's a comets, and it makes an ah sound. So we have sh and we have ah. So we go sha. Sha is the first sound. Then we look over to the next letter, and it's an aleph, and aleph is silent. So we have to look for another vowel. We look down, there is no vowel here. So let's look over to the next, and we see a vav. But this vav has a dot in the middle, which means it's acting as a vowel. This is shurik. Shurik makes the oo sound. Remember? Feels like you got hit in the gut and you are groaning and you're making an oo sound. And so you have aleph here and you have shurik. And you have aleph is silent and shurik makes the oo sound. So you get oo. So this first one is sha, and then you have oo, sha, oo. Okay, and now we're going to look over to the next letter, and it's the letter lamed, and it makes a l sound, like an L, and you have the l sound. So you look over here, you have sha, oo, l, sha'ul, and that's the name. Also, this shurik gets translated as a U. Many of the times it's going to get translated as a U, or sometimes people may put two O's together, like a double O, as in the word boots. They may put that there. So, and other times they may translate it as a U, as in the word ruler, R-U-L-E-R. So in the word ruler, the U makes an oo sound. So sometimes it gets transliterated that way. And usually for names, many of the time it will get transliterated as a U. And now to find out what this name means. It means Saul. Well, it doesn't mean Saul. It is Saul. Uh, Saul actually means, what did Saul mean? I can't remember. Hold on, I'm thinking. Ah, yes. Saul means ask, to ask, because in the Bible, the people asked for a king, and so God gave them ask, which is Saul. So this can be like, you can think of King Saul, so King Shaul, or you can think of Apostle Paul, who also had the name Saul, which in Hebrew would be Shaul. And also some people think that Saul had I'm talking about the New Testament Saul. Some people think that his name got changed from Saul to Paul. I remember as a kid going through the book of Acts, sat down and read the whole book of Acts to try and find out where this was. And guess what? It's not there. His name never got changed to Paul. He just always had two names. He had a Hebrew name and he had a Greek name. So Shaul, the Hebrew name, and Paulus, the Greek name. Or in English, we say Saul and Paul. He always had those names. It never got changed. So maybe that's some homework for you. Go read the book of Acts and see if his name ever got changed. It did not. He just always had two names. It was very common for people back then to have more than one name. Even today, people have more than one name. So it was the same thing back then. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to write the letter Vav. And it's really easy. It just looks like a hook or a tent peg. You just draw a line like this. Across and down. That's it. Vav. Just make sure it doesn't extend below the line, because then you will get confused with another letter you will learn about later. Don't make the line go below this horizontal line here. The vav should only stay up to here. If you make it go any lower, it's going to look like another letter, which you'll learn later. Okay, so moving on. Now we're going to do another letter search, and you're going to find all the letter vavs. But first, I am going to remove the vowels and highlight God's name so you know where it is. And you'll be looking for the letter vav in Psalm 23, okay? And I'm going to give you around 25 seconds, okay, for this. And also, it doesn't matter whether vav is acting as a vowel or not. I don't really care for you to know the difference yet. I just find any vowels, whether it's a vowel or a consonant, it doesn't matter. Just see how many you can find. Okay? Ready, set, go. And time's up. Okay, this is how many vavs are there. So let's see how many are here. We have 1, 2, 3. And yes, you learned the second letter in God's name. The first one you learned was Hey, and now you learned the second one here. It's Vav. Just got one more letter in God's name to learn, and then you'll learn all 3 of them. So we have 3 Vavs so far. Now we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have a total of 15 vowels. And out of those 15, let's see how many are acting as vowels. You don't have to know this. I'm just going to count them and show you. So this one has a dot over it, so it's acting as a vowel. And this vowel is cholem vav. And so that's one. Then we have another one. Another cholem vav. So that means it's going to be an O sound over here. We have another cholem vav. It's going to be an O sound. And then another cholem vav. And another cholem vav. There are a lot of O sounds in this psalm. And then we get a shurich. Finally, another one. And now this one makes an oo sound because the dot's over there. It kind of, vav got hit in the gut and now he's making an oo sound. And then we have another cholem vav. And this makes an O sound because the dot is over the vav. So O. Then we have another shurich, which makes an oo sound. So we have a total of 8 vowels in this psalm. So we have a total of 15 vowels, but out of those 15, 8 of them are mater lectiones, mothers of reading. They're acting as vowel helpers. And now moving on. What you should know by the end of this lesson. You should know the name of the letter, the sound of the letter. It makes a V sound as in van. But when we say God's name, it will make the W sound because of the ancient sound Vav used to make, which is a W sound. But for all the other words, we'll use the V sound, okay? In transliteration, it will be a V, unless you're writing out like God's name in English letters, it'll be a W sound. And then we have the type of letters. It is a consonant, but it can also act as a vowel, just like the letter Hey. Okay, and the club, it's not part of anything. It's not part of the gutturals, or it's not part of the Bigat Kafat letters. Vav is a letter all of its own. It's its own category. Okay, and that's what you should know moving forward. But some homework is practice writing it out. And also, I've linked the Hebrew Aleph-Bet song in the description. Listen to that song. I hope that after every video you are actually listening to that song, because that song will actually help you remember the names of the letters. And if you can remember the names of the letters, you will know the sounds of the letters. Okay, so listen to that song as homework. Okay, and I will see you in the next lesson where you will learn the letter Zayin. And until then, shalom and God bless.